We are back in part 2 of our pre-season summer special, and we are once again going to start this podcast looking at transfers because as we record tonight, we've had a couple of big announcements today, and Tom, it would be silly of us not to concentrate on the big news coming out of Turf Moor today, and that is James Trafford has now left. It isn't Newcastle, which is what we first thought. He has returned to Manchester City on a deal which we understand to be 27 million. Now, we know that there's going to be add-ons from that, but obviously that feels very low compared to the 40 million we were expecting for him. So I guess a couple of questions. How big a loss is James Trafford, and what is your immediate reaction to that transfer fee?
Yeah, I think talking about the fee first of all, it feels low. And when I read 27 million, I thought that, considering we've been holding off Newcastle and saying we want X amount, I did think initially that is quite low, but then I think the fact that they've got a sell-on clause, that's obviously takes out of any profits you already got. So I presume that's just been written off when they're calculating that fee. I've seen other people make other arguments, maybe we're just trying to keep City on side so we can get more of their players. Maybe there's something involved in the Kyle Walker deal because we got him quite cheap, etc., etc. I don't know. To me, it does feel a bit low, but then you could also look at it if you were looking at glass half full that we paid whatever it was, 15 million for him. We've essentially had him on loan for 2 years and got 12 million quid for that. So when you look at it like that, it's not the worst business in the world. It just really depends what we do with that money, doesn't it? That's the main thing. And I'm sure we'll come on to that later on. But in terms of how it's going to affect us as a team, I think we know it's going to be a massive blow. And we know how hard it is when you're a promoted team anyway. And we're going into this season now having lost our top scorer for nothing, one half of our brilliant centre-half partnership for nothing. And now we've lost, quite possibly you could say our best player, certainly our best keeper by a long shot. So it seems quite doom and gloom when you look at that. But I think it's been a pretty open secret that he was going to go this year. He could have very easily gone this time last year. So you'd like to think that the people behind the scenes, the board, Matt Booms, etc., knew that he was going. They knew roughly what kind of fee they were going to get for him, and they've got plans in place now that can be enacted now that he's gone.